Hello class 7, NS ma'am here. Today I am going to discuss the rest of the chapter transportation in animals and plants. Previously we learned about blood, blood vessels, components of blood, the structure of heart, etc. Today we are going to discuss the rest of this chapter. So let us start. So student, let us recap the previous lesson we have learned in the previous video. Now in the previous video we have learned about transportation in animals, and in which we have learned about the blood, blood vessels, the structure of heart, the different parts of heart, and how blood can pass through the heart. Now if we see this diagram, we can able to get a clear knowledge of circulation of blood through heart. Now from lungs, the oxygenated blood first come into the heart by the pulmonary vein. Then the heart passes this oxygenated blood to the different parts of the body through the aorta. Now from the different parts of the body, the deoxygenated blood or blood that is filled with carbon dioxide then returns back into the heart via superior and inferior vena cava. From the heart, the deoxygenated blood again goes to the lungs by the pulmonary artery. So it is the rough diagram of the circulation of blood through heart. Now we are going to the next part, that is the heartbeat and pulse. Now what is heartbeat? The heart squeezes or contracts to pump blood into the arteries. Then it relaxes to let the blood flow into it from the veins. This contraction and relaxation is called heartbeat. Now first, the heart, when filled with the oxygenated blood, it squeezes to let the blood enter into the arteries. And when the deoxygenated blood comes through the veins, it relaxes so that the blood can enter into the heart. Because of this two, relaxation and contraction, the heart produces a special type of sound that is known as its heartbeat. Now doctors use stethoscope to hear this heartbeat. Doctor use this stethoscope because to know whether the heart is working properly or not. By hearing the sound of the heart and the rate of the heartbeat, they can identify, or they can understand whether the heart is working properly or not. Now what is the pulse? It is a rhythmical throbbing of the arteries as blood is propelled through them. Now when the blood comes into the arteries, a huge force is there because the heart squeezes and the blood enters into the aorta, then into the different arteries. So a huge amount of blood is passing through the arteries. So this produces a throbbing sound. This throbbing sound is known as pulse. Now there is a rate of pulse, means how many throbbing sounds we can hear per minute. The rate is 72 per minute. So we can hear about 72 numbers of pulse or beating per minute. This is also related with the heartbeat. So the rate of heartbeat is also near about 72 to 80 per minute. So this was about the circulation of blood, heartbeat and pulse. Now we are going to the next part. Now we are going to learn about the next part, that is the excretion in animals. But first we have to know the definition of excretion. The process of removing waste from the body is called excretion. Excretion or the waste material can be excreted from our body through different ways. Number one, as we know that undigested food can be passed out from our body from the anus as stool. Number two, carbon dioxide and water vapors are also the waste materials that are produced in our body, that can also be passed out through our nostrils. Number three, sweating. This is very interesting and one of the important excretory product, sweat. Now the producing of sweat is known as sweating. The act of secreting fluid from the skin by the sweat glands and is known as sweating. Now, in the sweat, which type of waste materials are mixed and excreted from our body? Mainly the water, then salt and urea. These are excreted in this process. Now, sweating also help us to cool. Okay, as we sweat, as our skin get moist, and when the water gets evaporated, the water takes heat from the skin, and thus the skin become cooler. So by the sweating, the human body can also cool down itself. Now we are going to the main excretory system, that is the urinary system. This is the figure of human urinary system, and that is mainly consists of two kidneys. This is the left kidney and this is the right kidney, and two pipes are coming out from this kidney. They are known as ureter. Then it enters into a pouch like structure, that is the urinary bladder, and the opening of this bladder is the urethra. Now here are the two main blood vessels. One inferior vena cava, as you can see it, they carry the deoxygenated blood from the kidneys, and it is the aorta. Then the branches of the aorta forms the arteries that enters into the into both of these kidneys, and they supply the oxygenated blood. Because these organs are made up of tissues, as we know, and they are living, so they need oxygen to breathe for also. So what is happening inside of these kidneys? Inside of these kidneys, there are very small structures known as nephrons are there. These are the structural and functional unit of kidneys. They work like strainer. So when the blood filled with waste materials enters into the both kidneys, the nephrons strain out the waste materials and absorb the water and required things. Now this waste materials then enters into these pipes or ureter, and from this ureter it is stored into this pouch for some time, and after some time they pass out from our body through the urethra. So this is the urinary system, and this is how the urine, the waste material dissolved in water, is known as the urine. This is how the urine pass from our body. An adult human being normally passes about 1 to 1.8 liter of urine in 24 hours. So from this we can calculate that we have to need much amount of water to drink. Nearly 2 to 3 liter of water per day we have to drink, or else we can suffer from dehydration. So this is very important for us. And what are the constituents of the waste materials present in urine? The urine consists of 95% of water, 2.5% urea, and 2.5% of other waste products are there. Now kidneys work as a natural strainer in our body. But what happens when they stop working? Okay, in this case, we have to do this job artificially. This process is known as dialysis. So what is dialysis? Dialysis is the process of removing waste from the blood artificially. When the kidneys stop working, then the machines have to do its job. The process is known as dialysis. Now we are going to the last part of this chapter, transportation in plants. Now to go there, first we have to know about tissue and complex permanent tissue. All the living organisms are made up of tissue. Now tissue are something that works together and do a particular job. Complex permanent tissue means they can be found in plants. They are complex as there are many types of cells working together. There are no one type of cell. There are many types of cells working together to do a particular job. Now they are permanent because they cannot divide. This type of cells of the tissues cannot divide. That's why they are known as permanent. So this is the complex permanent tissues. They are of two types, xylem and phloem. We heard about these two types of tissues. Now xylem works as what? They transport water and minerals from the root. And another one is the phloem that transport food from the leaves to the different parts of the plants. These two complex tissues are collectively known as vascular bundles. Okay, so these tissues are important for the transportation of water and the food in the plants. Now, related to the water, there is a thing that we all know. In class 6 we have read about this term, the transpiration. This is the process of water removed or water movement through a plant and its evaporation from aerial parts such as leaves, stems and flowers. Okay, when the plant takes the water from the soil and then the excess water gets evaporated, this process is known as transpiration. So transpiration is done mainly in the stomatal cell of leaves, but other parts like the leaves, other parts like the stems, flowers also can do this job. Okay, what happens in transpiration? The excess water evaporates out through the stomata in transpiration. The root absorbs much amount of water through the xylem by the help of the xylem, and this huge amount of water are not utilized fully. Some of the water are there inside of the plant, so the plants have to remove them. So by this transpiration they remove the excess water. Number 2, a suction of pool that helps to pull water to great heights. Okay, now what happens? Heights. Now what happens as the in transpiration the excess water is going outside of the environment, so there is a vacuum occurs inside of the plant. Because of this empty space, the root absorbs the water once again. Okay, so this transpiration cause a pull of water through the root. So this is very important, and there is the important job of transpiration. And transpiration also cools down the plants. So this was about the transport in plants. Okay students, that's all. This was the chapter transportation in animals and plants. Hope these two videos will help you to understand the subject matter. If you face any difficulty, you can go through these videos. Next video we are going to discuss about another chapter of your half yearly syllabus. Till then, keep study and be safe. Thank you.